So initially it wasn't clear if the Disney Pixar lamp was going to become an official Lego set, but here we are a year or two later, and now we have Luxo Jr. in hand. Thanks to Lego for gifting this set for review, and let's give it a grade out of 100 and see if they did Luxo Jr. justice. Luxo Jr. first made his Pixar debut all the way back in 1986 with an animated short film, and at that point, no one had really heard about this awesome little lamp. Toby Brett from England is the fan designer of this awesome Lego recreation. The set is going to come in with 613 pieces and is going to retail for $70 US. One manual is going to come along with the set with a few details up front, and then we don't have any stickers in this set, which is awesome to see. It's a smaller build with only 4 bags, but I thoroughly enjoyed every step of the way. You start off by building the ball that Luxo Jr. likes to bounce around and chase. This little yellow ball is so simple, yet the designers put so much thought into it, which is absolutely incredible. First, you start off by building out the frame, and immediately you're going to see some hidden references to some of your favorite characters in Pixar. First is going to be the dynamic duo, Woody and Buzz. Then we're going to find Mike Wazowski and Sully from Monsters, Inc. Alfredo Linguini and Remy are next from Ratatouille, which if you've seen from my past videos, I'm still dying to get a set from the Ratatouille movie. And then lastly, we get these two here with Russell and Carl Fredricksen from Up. Then we start building the upper and lower sections of the ball, and they have these really small mini builds of some of the characters from The Incredibles along with the Incredibles family. And then you complete the shape of the ball with these exclusive printed pieces for the exterior, which I will say look fantastic, and I'm really glad that they chose prints for these. The ball is super sturdy, and you can juggle it around just like you can see here like a real ball, and the amount of Pixar history packed into this ball is amazing. Bags 2 and 4 have you building out Luxo Jr. the lamp. You're going to find another Easter egg in the base of the lamp with a color reference to Dory and Marlin from Finding Nemo. You start building out the frame of the lamp, and even though it's all predominantly white pieces, the fact that it's so intricate and detailed in order to get all the different shapes and angles of the lamp, it really keeps your attention. There are a couple rubber bands at the midsection in order to get a nice spring to the lamp when you push down to give it that flexibility. I also really like that they gave us 1x1 metallic studs to give them that kind of metal finish instead of just a plain gray stud. And then lastly, up top here, we get these nice cone-shaped pieces that have some printing on the back. Inside, we have 2 solid yellow pieces mimicking the light of Luxo Jr. I was very surprised that Lego did not make these pieces translucent and then use some form of a light brick or something for it to be a working lamp, or at least use translucent pieces so it's set up to be wired after the fact, etc. But unfortunately, no, we just got all solid yellow pieces, and I think that was a little bit of a miss. The lamp head does sit on a ball joint, so you can move it around and position it in whatever position you would like. Once you have all the different components built, you can then decide whether to pose Luxo by himself next to the full ball or have him bouncing on top of it. You can simply take off the top and bottom plate of the ball, set the ball on this small brown base, kind of mimicking a wooden desk in a sense, and then you can attach Luxo to the top of the ball. It's very sturdy and all around just looks super cool. So if you can't tell already, I loved this build. It's not a huge build, but the designers just packed a ton of Pixar history into it. There's a lot of cool things to find along the way, and honestly, it just looks amazing. Now, there is no minifigure with this set. I think that would be a little bit of a miss, along with not being able to light it up, like I said. But it would have been cool to get just maybe a little small Luxo Jr. minifigure or mold of some kind. I think that would have been a really cool add-on and something to add to the collection. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But overall, I think it's an amazing set, and I loved building this. So I am going to put the build experience grade up there at 36 out of 40. So I'm sure you probably already know as well what I think of this category, but I love the look of this set. It's a relatively small build, as I said, but when thinking about it, who really wants to build a massive like UCS lamp? Dimensions are going to be 16 centimeters or 6 inches wide, and then 22 centimeters or 8 inches tall. I think the size of the build is perfect in that the build itself is just long enough to really enjoy the set, but not so big to where it starts really getting old. And then also, did I mention that I really like the printed pieces in this set? Play functions here, I guess, would be just having an awesome ball that is super sturdy that you can juggle around, which obviously I love to do. And then also you get the ability to move the lamp around and adjust it as you would like, which I would say was very well done from a design standpoint. I'm a big fan of this set in this category as well, so I am going to give Luxo Jr. a 16 out of 20 on display and play. So Luxo Jr. is going to retail for $70, as I said, with 613 total pieces, and that is going to put the price per piece at over 11 cents, which is quite high. Looking at two other Disney IPs in the LEGO Ideas line, we can see that the recent Magic of Disney set that actually included minifigures only had a price per piece of 9 cents. The Nightmare Before Christmas also fell into the 9-cent range, so Luxo Jr. is definitely taking a significant leap in the price point. Now, I'm sure that is due to the fact that we get some larger pieces in here for the ball, as well as the lampshade and the bulb, so I can justify some of the price point. There's also no stickers and all prints. Really nice prints, I will say, so that does play into the price. I wouldn't call this one an amazing value regardless how cool and amazing the set is. I would have probably liked to have seen this one fall somewhere in like the $49.99 to $59.99 range. I think that would have been a little bit more competitive. It's not super high priced, but it is definitely higher than what it probably should be. So on overall value, I'm going to be a little bit more conservative, and I'm going to put this one at 14 out of 20. So I changed things up on the community vote just a little bit. Instead of asking whether you were buying or passing on the set, I instead asked whether you liked or did not like the set. And I think asking buying or passing maybe skews the numbers just a little bit because it's more related just strictly to money, whether you had the money to buy the set or maybe did not have the money to buy the set. But asking like or don't like more just tells the fans in the community whether you think this set is really good for what it is and you like it, or whether you just don't like it and you don't think it's a good set. So I think it's a little bit more true to what we're trying to get down to, which is what does the community think of the set. Looking at the poll though, the general consensus does seem to be very positive on the set, with over 70% saying that they liked the set. There obviously were some that this set just didn't interest them, like we see with any set, but overall, a favorable outcome for Luxo Jr., which I am glad to see because I think this set is awesome. Community grade on Luxo Jr. is going to fall at 14 out of 20. So here are all the grades on the different categories for Luxo, with the final grade coming in at a solid grade of 80 out of 100. That's going to drop this set just shy of the must-buy category, and it's going to put it into the consider buying this set category. Personal opinion, I absolutely love this set, and it's definitely high up for me on sets that I've built so far this year. Thanks for watching, and here's a couple more review videos for you to check out.